Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm diving into the mix of a custom song that I wrote recently, was hired to write. It is for a really fantastic bass player in Austin's sister. That's all I'm going to say. It's called Polly Effin' Anna. And we're doing this. She wanted a soul song, but she wanted it more or less acoustic. But these are electric guitars on this song. So this, I thought I'd hop on and share again my whole mix process, starting with just pulling all the sliders down, taking all the plugins off, and getting just a nice balance volume wise. And then we'll start shaping some of these guitars and vocals. And that's really all there is on this track, a little bit of hi-hat and some clapping. So, yeah, it should be pretty short, but it should be pretty fun. Okay, let's get this party started. Cheers. And if you're digging what we're doing here, I'm doing all things Stax Records, doing deep dives into how they record, their mix chains, the recording chains. I used the recording chain on the vocals on this particular song, and I will come back later and do a tutorial on that because it really is quite magical in a home studio. And I'm using an Avantone CV12 microphone. And I'm very, very pleased with how the vocals sound. So, yeah. And if you dig in the hat, this is one of mine from one of my songs called The Best Is Yet to Come, which is also free on my website. If you're curious about that, I put the link below. I've also got the mix chain for guitars in the description below as well. So you can kind of follow along with that, and then we'll talk about the vocal stuff as well. All right, let me get my video pulled up here so I can answer any questions. If anybody has any, I welcome them. Please do. I love having conversation about mixing. I am a total nerd about it. I would say I'm somewhere between a newbie and I wouldn't say I'm pro, but I am definitely very focused on how to get that old school analog sound, and therefore I kind of take an old school approach somewhat. As you'll see, these tracks are kind of all layered. In other words, I use many different tracks to create the guitar because this is literally how I wrote the song. I had an idea for the verses, I sat down, I wrote it, I sang the verse, I had an idea for the pre and the chorus, and that's kind of how that went. And then I went back and recorded the guitars and the guitar licks and all that good stuff. So, let us get started on this then. Let's start with, we're going to, how's this looking? I want to make sure you guys can see that. Let me just make this fit into this a little bit better here. I feel like it would be better to see the mix bus than it would. There you go. That's a little bit better. All right, so we're going to start by, there's not a whole lot of tracks here, and I wanted to send my client, a rather rough mix of the song so she could hear kind of, to make sure I was on the right track and that she was going to dig it before I went in ahead and did the final mix. Nice. Some guy right on. That's good to know. You have me on the big screen. Okay. Fantastic. I'm going to shrink my head a little bit more because I don't really need to see my face. Really, we're just talking about recording here. All right. Also, I think it's worth mentioning I just had a birthday on Christmas Day. And I am over 50. I'm in the over 50 club, and part of the reason why I'm doing this is one, I want to keep the Stax Records um, techniques and tips alive. And two, I just love Stax Records. I love the way the records sound, everything about it. So I'm this is how I'm treating my record. And uh, two, I think I'm on two. Um, hopefully encouraging older folks to not give up on their dreams. Um, sometimes the tech side of things can be a little intimidating and overwhelming, but I'm just here to say, yes, I understand that because in the beginning I felt that like that a lot. I felt very overwhelmed and intimidated, and so I procrastinated doing a lot of stuff. But now that I'm kind of in it and I have taken a Google Doc and I've written down the processes, this isn't all by memory. I'm actually following a process that I have written down in a Google document and just done a lot of research and asked a lot of questions and kind of am going with the kind of plugins that I actually have available in my arsenal right now. So that's how I'm doing this. That's why you'll sometimes see me use a Logic plugin or Waves or Universal Audio. Seems to be limited in my setup. So I generally save those for the mix bus and the lead vocals because to me that's the most important thing part of the song. And I like to mix into the mix bus. But anyway, I just want to encourage you to not give up on your dreams. This really can be so much fun once you get into it. And it does seem intimidating, but after a while, it can be a lot of fun. And what I'm learning too is that there is no one way to mix. There's no one way to do things. Yes, you need to learn about some of the stuff that you use, your compressors and EQ. And I can't tell you that I know all the ins and outs of mine, but I, again, have a process. I have a document. I write it down so that I can go back and refer to it. And sometimes it is in the beginning, it's just, okay, I'm just going to follow the settings for this right now. So I'm just trying to basically encourage you because this can be a lot of fun. And down the road, I might offer up some of my processes and put together a booklet of some sort if that sounds interesting to anybody or think it would be helpful. I mean, I'm the kind of person you have to explain it to me like I'm 5. I need to know, okay, I don't need to understand why I'm doing this right now, but I do need to understand what the settings are supposed to be. Just tell me those. And then once I can start to hear the effect it's having, then I start to understand it more. That's just me. I still use a lot of the graph EQs because I need to see the sound waves. I need to see where they're hitting. So it's a kind of a combination of old school meets use what you can and play to your strengths. That's what it is. No way. A fixture called a blonde. That's really cool. Yeah, that's what I call my guitar. And also, you guys can find me too. I'm going to start doing more live streaming shows because I really am missing playing guitar and singing on my Facebook page and on my TikTok page, which is also down in the description in my Linktree link. Okay, let's get this party started. First thing we're going to do is I can see already that I've got some automation here on the rhythm guitar bus. Now, I've already made the buses. If you're not familiar with buses, I have a whole tutorial. I should put the link in this description as well. I will do that. I will try to remember to do that. Let me write it down right now so I don't forget. uh, Showing you exactly how to create buses. When I first started trying to learn about buses, I was like, I don't get it. Buses just kind of help group uh, together. I'll show you. It's going to be easier for me to show you. Bus vid link. So I don't forget. Okay. So first of all, because I wanted to do a rough mix yesterday and get this off to the client, I did do a little automation on this guitar track. So I'm just going to basically get rid of the automation first on this. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go to mix, and I'm going to hit delete automation, and I'm going to click delete automation on selected track, all automation. I just want it to be a nice clean track. And then it looks like there's a lot more tracks here than there really are. Again, I saw this I saw Billie Eilish talking about her process, to be honest, and she's got little chunks of vocal all throughout the project, and I just thought, I, I, there's a certain point of trying to make it feel as old school as possible, so I would kind of put a lot of pressure on myself, for instance, to like get done vocally the whole way through. Now, I'm not saying don't challenge yourself. Sometimes I still do it. But in this particular instance, because I was actually writing it as I was recording it, you'll see there's quite a few different tracks of chunks of guitar, vocal, etc. So let's take a look at that vocal real quick. So you can see here I've got this lead vocal bus, and I've already put together this chain and gain staged it as well. So I'm just going to turn these off. I'm turning that reverb off. I'm going to turn that amp off, even though I'm not even using these channels. Turning all the plugins off. So, except for the drum kit, because it's how it comes on a lot of the MIDI instruments, I just leave it as is. Unless it's a big string section or horn section and I want to shape those tonally differently. Also have tutorials on my page about that as well, especially horns. I really learned a lot about parallel compression and how to get those to sit in and be clear. That's, to me, is the biggest challenge, is to get clarity around every single instrument. So I'm not going to take the reverb off the mix bus because I want it to sound like they're in a treated room, a treated studio. And Stax Records was very, very reliant on the sound of their rooms to create that natural reverb. So it was already kind of baked into the tracks when they recorded it. So, and plus, I don't know what it is. I need reverb. I just can't handle tracks super dry. That's just how I am. All right, so let's take a look here at the lead vocal bus. As you can see here, these are all of my vocals. This is all lead vocal. So really what a bus is, I just basically took all of these tracks, right? I highlighted them all by clicking the first track, holding down shift and going to the last track. And then I went down to output to bus. And you can see right there is my lead vocal bus. So it basically means now they're all funneling into this track right here. And now I have more opportunity to shape all of them together so they sound like one track, basically. That's pretty much what it is. And then, of course, I've got the track from the bus running out to the mix bus. So all of my buses are, except for that one, I got to do that too, are also running out to the mix bus. You want to make sure that's happening on all of your group buses. You can call them a group bus, I guess. I hope that's not too confusing, but let's say your smaller instrument buses, you want to make sure everything is going over here to this mix bus, because I saw a tutorial with Andrew Sheps who talks about mixing everything into the mix bus. And so that's where I start to shape the tone of the overall song. And also, I think I have the Stax mix bus chain on one of my tutorials. If not, I will also put it in the bottom of this one. Let me know if you want that. All right, so here we go. First things first. All right, let me just get to my mix bus. As I told you, I keep everything in a document. I keep all the alternatives to what if I don't have that particular plugin or, that plugin that's going to emulate that hardware exactly. Then I just say, well, help me find one in Logic or one in Waves kind of thing. So, all right. People all over the world on the mix bus. And plus, buses just really enable you to do parallel compression, which I will talk about that. That is one of the coolest tricks I just recently learned. All right, here we go. We are going to do Command A. It's highlighted all of the tracks. I'm going to basically... Nope. Sorry, I always forget this. I don't know why this is doing this. Come on now. There we go. You have to click actually on the slider. So I Command A, highlighted everything, and then I Option clicked right on the slider to bring everything to 0. Everything's at 0. We're going to pull it all down. All right. And then you can just click on any track to get that, to unhighlight all the tracks. So we're going to start with a mix bus because we're not going to have any sound if we don't start with a mix bus. And I'm just going to leave her right at 0. Now, I'm going to go ahead and highlight one of the bigger parts of this song, namely because you can see here that I really dug into the guitar and I've got a lot more volume here. So this will be a good place to start gain staging, all that good stuff. So let's go back now. Let's grab lead vocal bus, throw it up to 0. You can do that or you can just hit like this, 0. Boom. Backing vocal bus to 0. Rhythm guitar bus, 0. The lead guitar bus. Claps. And then this hi-hat. All right, and then I think what we're going to do is just grab, because all these are all vocals, I'm just going to go ahead and throw them up to 0 right now. We're going to see what we got. We've got nothing because for some reason this is not coming through my Apollo at all. Why? Don't you worry, I'm just going to pull up a new setting in console. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. C'est la vie. What are you going to do, man? All right. So bizarre. I keep trying to see this particular setup. Let me turn that off. And it just won't. All right, let's get check 1, 2. Hey, 1, 2. Sorry, things sound a little different here. Just give me a second to kind of fix some things. Hey, hey, check 1, 2. There we go. Better, better. See if this is going to work. It's probably stereo outside. Oh,
yeah. She's a lover, she's a dancer. So free. She's my sister, she's my goddess now.
All right.
She's a lover, she's a dancer. So free. She's my sister, she's my goddess now. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. She's a lover, she's a dancer. So free. She's my sister, she's my...
All right, we're going to mute this for just a sec, and we're just going to gain stage it.
Goddess now, oh yeah.
So basically, I'm just gain staging this to kind of roll this back to somewhere between 18 and 15, minus 18, 15 dBs. So I'm going to have to listen to it over and over again. I recorded this a little hot, I know. I get a little carried away. Okay, great. Now we're just going to hold down Option and throw this gain into... Not really sure why I've got that going like that, but we'll find out in a minute. So here's a cool trick. You can just Option, grab the plugin, and drag it over, and it'll keep the same setting. Okay, and that way now on the... We can do a little... A little more on the bus, which is cool. $18.5, I'll take it. All right, next we're going to grab these harmonies, also bring them up to 0. Yeah. I'm not sure why I have this Abbey Road Saturator and the J37 tape on each individual track. Must have been a reason, so I'm just going to kindly ask them to move down. All right, let's start with the gain. Staging here. Yeah, some guy, are you asking to create a mix bus? I highly recommend a mix bus. Yes. And then you can keep your stereo out as your mastering chain. And by the way, as we're talking about Stax Records, I've been meaning to ask you guys, what do you have a favorite Stax artist or song? I would love to know. I'm just a big old nerd about it. I love that stuff so much. Okay, let's start here. Clearly, I don't have a really high vocal there happening just yet. It's okay. Yeah, I recorded these vocals very hot. That's okay. All right, 18, 17.5. I'll take it. That's fine by me. Um, I know I should have dragged and dropped that too as well. Let's just start here and see where we're at. Another thing about, I do all my harmonies myself, and it's just really interesting to understand how your voice works when you're doing harmonies in different ranges. It's quite fascinating, the whole frequency thing. And also, I wanted to mention that, oops, too much. Now, which is really amusing about the low harmony. So I really back off the mic on the low harmony, which you would think it would be more for the high harmony, but for some reason, the low harmony really cuts through. And I don't want it to be as big as the others. That's my reasoning. Yeah, clearly I'm going to have to go in and tame some of these spikes by hand as well, for sure. All right, and let's just get the gain set on the backing vocal bus. I also think it's worth mentioning that I tune my guitar to 432 hertz. Kind of went down this rabbit hole learning about frequencies and healing frequencies, and I have a bit of tinnitus. Well, actually, I have tinnitus, and I really think that mine is neurological. And so I've kind of went down the rabbit hole trying to find out and learn about that first. And as I uncovered a lot of information about sound frequency and its ability to actually, I mean, we're all frequency anyway. We're all vibration, right? If I've always been curious if the full moon has the ability to affect oceans. I mean, huge bodies of powerful water, the moon, then certainly that electromagnetism, water carries frequency, we're made mostly of water. This is my deduction. So I started recording stuff in 432 because I find it, one, curious that 440 was made legalized, was made the legal tuning in Nazi Germany. Red flag, right? There's got to be something to it. And the United States also followed suit in the 1950s. And so there's a lot of people who believe that 440 is a very militarized frequency and it's very disruptive to the immune system and neurological system. So, you know, I'm here, I believe, to create Music has the ability to soothe. I love this early soul stuff because of how good it feels. And I think, we just need more things that make us feel good in the world. So that's my there's more to it, but that's my overview. That's my 2 cents about it. And I'm going to be talking about that too soon because I think it's really important to mention and really important to at least try. And there's a book I started reading. Green Onions is totally worth a mention, some guy. Love it. Love it. So, the other thing I was going to tell you guys is that I've been reading this book about the Laurel Canyon music scene and how Laurel Canyon was actually a huge military base for intelligent ops. And so, the biggest, this guy's book, his hypothesis, and he's trying to prove, and he's spent 10 years Yeah, some guy. I think, man, call it whatever it is, but we're in a very strange time. And reading this book about Laurel Canyon, you will be surprised the links to a lot of the very popular 60s counterculture revolution artists whose parents were very high ranking in special ops and intelligence. It is mind blowing, and I can't put it down. We've been reading it every night. All right, we're almost to a point where we're going to actually hear some music here, but I just don't want to blast anybody's face off. Again, I'm just trying to get it somewhere near 18 at the moment. I'll probably have to keep tweaking these as we go on. I might have to fix some of the peaks with automation. I'm just trying to get it as close. I used to be very, very uptight and anal about it and get so frustrated when I couldn't, make it happen right away. So I'm a lot more lax than I have been in the past. All right, let's see what we got here. She's my sister, she's my goddess now. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. She's a lover, she's a dancer, so free, so free. She's my sister, she's my goddess now. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. She's a lover, she's a dancer. We're gonna option drag this gain right over, gain plugin, because these are so I basically double this guitar just because this is the only instrument in the song. Let me get more of guitar in here. Label these just a little bit better too. I'm not going to do that at the moment. No. She's my sister, she's my goddess now. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. She's a lover, she's a dancer, so free, so free. She's my sister, she's my goddess now. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. She's a lover, she's a dancer, so free, so free. She's my sister, she's my goddess now. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. She's a lover, she's a dancer. Okay, great. So I use the bigger part of the song to gain stage. Now I'm gonna take it over to like a verse so my ears don't get fatigued as fast. And we're gonna start setting up the mixed chain bus. She lit the fire and a rebel heart. Didn't care about the rules. She played it her way. Danced through, she lit the fire and a rebel heart. Didn't care about the rules. She played it her way. Danced through, she lit the fire and a rebel heart. Didn't care about the rules. Last thing I want to check though that I wasn't really paying attention to was the mix bus. I want to see what that gain stage is. She's my sister, she's my guidance now. All the fucking data, I'll tell you my heart. It's so bright, the way. She's my sister, she's my guidance now. All the fucking. She's my sister, she's my guidance now. Yeah, totally. That's what I'll do. I'm gonna set the tone for the song through the mix bus first, and then I'll start my panning. But yeah, totally. Same. Some guy. I would. Yeah, that's definitely how it's gonna go. Appreciate that. All right, so let's start here with my mix bus. Where'd you go? Where'd you go, my mix bus? Where'd you go? Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Master bus, mix bus. Where are you, madam? Yep, I'm scrolling. All right, let's start with all right, so we're going to try to kind of emulate the chain that would happen during recording and playback. So, of course, playback would be from tape, 2-inch tape, which, yeah, it was like impossible, or is it inch and a half maybe? Is incredibly expensive nowadays, but I was lucky enough to record my first album when I was living in Los Angeles with my band that we called Peculiar Boogie. But that was a lot of fun. That was really cool to. I had no idea that we were kind of getting to record in a process that was not going to be any longer. All right, so I don't have the exact tape machine that was used at Stax, which would be the Ampex 350, 351. But we can use waves that will come somewhat close. We're going to use the Waves Kramer Master Tape, and we're going to start by turning it on. I'm just taking note of where the where it's hitting on the slider here, so that I'm remembering to volume stage as I add each plugin. So clearly I just threw this on here so she could have an idea of what this was going to sound like. I'm going to take this off. We're going to go back to PA default. All right, so we're taking speed over to 7.5 to bring out more of the low and mid frequencies. Now, normally depending on the song, so if we go on overbias here, it's going to give a warmer, thicker low end, which I think we should keep on this song because this is it. This is all the instrumentation. We're going to crank this up. We want this saturation. Yeah, we're going to have to We're probably going to have to automate all this up a little higher, honestly. We want this to hit around between -5 and 4. Yeah, we're going to have to stay in the higher part of this song. We're going to take the wow and flutter off. Noise lower off. So this delay feedback off as well. Low pass function. So this is basically going to, it functions as a high cut filter. So it'll filter out the high frequencies of the delayed signal. So you can control the brightness of the delayed sound. Essentially, the higher the low pass setting, the less high end present in the delay signal. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it down to, yeah. So now we're going to use like a passive console. And the recommendation is we can either do the UAD Neve 1073, which, you know, of course, is the popular one, or we can use the Waves Nonlinear Summer. So I'm going to try both on this and just see what it's going to bring out using each. First, we're going to take this off for a minute so I can have room to mess with this. We'll just turn this into the Waves. I have the Waves Sheps 1073. And I'm just curious as to like what is going to really give me what I want from this. So I'm going with the 1073. There just seems to be a little more clarity. Yeah, with the vocal. It just seemed to me the NLS Bus Summer was kind of warming things up a little bit more, and the vocals weren't as clear. And so I want to do as less plugins as possible on this. So we're going to go with that. All right, next we're going to go with this super powerful. Let's put you there. The Universal Audio Pultec EQP1A. Where'd you go? Stop it. Stop being a jerk. Okay, so on this, we're just going to nudge up a little bit in the low end here, probably around We're going to start at 60 again, just because all we have are these few instruments. Alright, I like that. We're just doing little nudges here. Next, we're going to use, I think this is my favorite compressor of all time, which is the Fairchild 670. Now, sometimes just for shits and giggles, I'll just go and check out some of their presets. Like, I know, for instance, the UAD Fairchild 670 has an R&B bus preset. So I'm just going to see what it sounds like first, to be honest. Alright, I lied. They don't have R&B, it's for vocals. So I'm kind of looking at the setting here, what I need. I want the gain to be around 4 or 5. I want to achieve like about 1 to 3 gain reduction here. We're going to turn this. Got nothing. It's because it's not on. I'm good with the time constant, which is really, the time constant on this is really the attack and release. 2 is about 200 ms, which is much slower, less pump, less excitement. Well, let's try 3.
Every single day.
Yeah, so we're just doing very, very, very minimal compression. We're trying to keep things as far as the tonality overall. The song kind of how it is, given a little bit of shaping. Because once we go into the vocals, that's where we're really going to start creating and situating everything else around that as well. So let me just look at this a little bit here. Um, so we're going to set this mix to about 80 to 90%. Okay, we've already got the reverb set up. Went with the Universal Audio pure plates. So the decay time here, 1 to 2. I wanted a little. And what I love about this pure plate is that you can do the low cut filter here, the high pass filter, which you have to tend to do for reverbs anyway, so it doesn't muddy up the mix. It's already built in right there. I freaking love it. And the pre-delay, and it's easy to navigate. Now, they typically use two different types of reverb, one with a medium plate, one with a large plate. So let's try that. Let's see what it does for us. Mm-hmm. All right, so, well, no, we're going to leave it as it is. I don't think we need to. I went with big studio plate on this song, again, just because it's minimal instrumentation. The last thing we're going to do is run it through the J37 Waves tape, just to give it a little more cohesion. Again, just see what we got here.
the way, who lives her truth every single day. My sister, my heart, not forever.
All right, I'm pretty happy with the mix on the mix bus. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and automate some volume stuff because I can tell already that the verses are so much not as loud as the choruses. I'm going to do that using the buses. So let's see what we got verses down here. Yeah. Yeah, you can tell just from that to this. So we're on the outro, we're at like 16.5. Yeah, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to play it through. I'm going to take some notes so I know where I need to go in and start nudging up the volume with automation. And then we're going to pan some stuff. So I got my handy dandy pink Post-it notes, which you can't see my desk. And there's good reason, because they're everywhere. Yeah, some guy. We also did ADAT. Yes, the second album we did on ADAT. How cool! You got to play on your uncle's first album when you were a kid. That's really awesome. I guess I got started a little later in life. I was, I think, 20 when I first sang in public. Always wanted to. Was too chicken, and then like some cosmic thrust, I got thrown into it, and I was like, okay, I really love this. And they're like, yeah, duh. I mean my spirit guides. So let's see what's happening here.
She lit the fire, had a rebel heart. Didn't care about the rules, she played it her way. Danced through life, come one day, kindness shines, she's got that glow, bringing hearts together wherever she goes. She's a lover, she's a dancer, so free, my sister. She's my sister, she's my guiding star. Lord, if I can get her, that's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. She makes the world feel a little less tough. Shows us all that love is enough. When she laughs, it's a melody, a rebel proof, wild and free. She's my rock, my partner in crime, the keeper of joy, the queen of time. She's a lover, she's a dancer, so free, sister. She's my sister, she's my guiding star. Lord, if I can have, that's who you are. She's a kind woman you can't forget. A small good life, no regrets, no regrets. On me fucking Ella. She's a lover, she's a dancer, so free, so free. She's my sister, she's my guiding star. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
All right, that's where it starts to hit.
My guiding star. Oh.
around 68. Oh, yeah. That's about 18. Okay, cool. Let's take this piece by piece. Shall we? Let's.
She lit the fire.
You know what I'm going to do too is go ahead and throw this.
She lit the fire. Had a rebel heart. Didn't care about the rules. She played it her way. Danced through life. Come one day. Kindness shines. She's got that glow. Bringing hearts together wherever she goes. She's a lover, she's a dancer. So free. She lit the fire. Had a rebel heart. Didn't care about the rules. She played it her way. Danced through life. Come one day. Kindness shines. She's got that glow. Bringing hearts together wherever she goes. She's a lover, she's a dancer. So free. My sister. She's my sister, she's my guy.
Alright, I'm going to take this and give it just a little bit of a boost. Actually, all the way through the bridge, probably, to be honest. Because it's not until here that we start to get really punchy. So let's try this.
She lit the fire. Had a rebel heart. Didn't care about the rules. She played it her way. Danced through life. Come one day. Kindness shines. She's got that glow. Bringing hearts together wherever she goes. She's a lover, she's a dancer. So free. My sister. She's my sister, she's my guidance.
Alright.
My guiding star. Holy fucking nana. That's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. She makes the world feel a little less. My guiding star. Holy fucking nana. That's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. She makes the world feel a little less tough. Shows us all that love is enough. When she laughs, it's a melody, a rebel, proof wild and free. She's my rock, my partner in crime, the keeper of joy, the queen of time. She's a lover, she's a dancer. So free. My sister. She's my sister, she's my.
I'm going to push that up a little bit to get a little more excitement out of that second verse.
She's a lover, she's a dancer. So free, so free. My sister, she's my sister, she's my guiding star. Born and fucking down, that's who you are. She's a kind woman you can't forget. A spark of life, no regrets, no regrets. All day fucking Anna. She's a lover, she's a dancer, dancer. So.
Let's see. Oh, I think that's happening right there. Let's just crank you up.
All day fucking Anna. She's a lover, she's a dancer, dancer. So free, so free. She's my sister, she's my guiding star. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. She's a lover, she's a dancer, dancer. So free, so free. She's my sister, she's my guiding star. Oh, the fucking Anna, oh, you want it.
All right, so right here, I need to do something with this. Take this down just a bit, and then I think I'm going to pan it off a little. About this. Okay, let's save that so far. Let's work on these vocals. Boom, 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 boom. She lit the fire.
She lit the fire, had a rebel heart.
Oh. Kind of want that up.
She lit the fire, had a rebel heart. Didn't care.
All right, let's start on this EQ for the lead vocals now, which I do believe are back this way. If you were just joining, welcome, welcome. My name is Lisa Marshall, and I am obsessed with old school soul music and Stax Records and Muscle Shoals, but mostly the mix and the tonality of Stax Records. And this is what I've decided to land on for my EP that I'm working on. This is a custom song that was I do custom songs. I guess about 2 a quarter. So this was my first one that's going to be for this woman's sister for January 3rd. She's a great bass player, the girl who hired me to do this for her sister in Austin, Texas. And so my guitar is tuned to 432 hertz because I think I believe in frequencies and the ability to heal people and make you feel good. And I think that's my purpose. So, this song is called Polly Fucking Anna because her sister is a self described Polyfucking Anna. And this is what her sister gave me in her description. I came up with the lyrics. What do you think about this? She loved them, so we went with that, and here we are. Okay. Here we are on the vocals. Yeah, yeah. Now, normally, if I had a lot of instrumentation happening, I would have gone ahead and panned so I could hear things more clearly. But there's literally just a couple of guitars. And, you know, I might just go ahead and let's give that a little bit of a.
Wherever she goes, she's a lover, she's a dancer. So free, so free. My sister, she's my sister, she's my guiding star. Holy fucking Nana, that's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. She makes the world. Wherever she goes, she's a lover, she's a dancer. So free, so free. My sister, she's my sister, she's my guiding star. Holy fucking Nana, that's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. She makes the world.
Now, the reason I'm doing the claps the same way as the backing vocals, because I want it to sound like it's actually the backing vocals clapping around the microphone.
Wherever she goes, she's a lover, she's a dancer. So free,
All right. So let's take a look at what we're doing for the vocals here on the mix chain. Now, the fun thing about it is that I actually saved the vocal chain from another project, which is really so very useful. So you can see up here it says lead vocal Stax A. It was probably my first, I'll usually label something like that if it's my first attempt at really kind of putting that together. And then as I learn more, I'll, of course, change the name a little bit. But this is the chain. So, like I said, I need to have graphic EQs. I need to see. And I just stuck it here on this. To be honest with you, Logic, this EQ, this vintage vocal is really quite perfect. So I just started with that.
wherever she goes, she's a lover, she's a dancer. So free, so free.
As a matter of fact, let me see which Pultec I grabbed. It was this one here. All right, I tell you what, we're going to leave that as such. But we are going to go to default. Because really what I want to use this for is to I just want to do a high pass filter here on the vocal for right now.
Wherever she goes, she's a lover, she's a dancer. So free, so free. My sister, she's my sister, she's my guiding star. Holy fucking Nana, that's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. She makes the world. Wherever she goes,
Now, normally I would follow this up with the MEQ to get some of that mid-range deliciousness happening, but I'm just going to go ahead and use this EQ-P1A, or the channel EQ here.
Wherever she goes, she's a lover, she's a dancer. So free, so free. My sister, she's my sister, she's my guiding star. Holy fucking Nana, that's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. She makes the world wherever she goes. She's a lover, she's a dancer. So free, so free. My sister, she's my sister, she's my guiding star. Holy fucking Nana, that's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. She makes the world wherever she goes. She's a lover, she's a dancer. So free, so free. My sister, she's my sister, she's my guiding star. Holy fucking Nana, that's who you are.
So we're going to just use this LA2A, the one, on the vocal here. They just kind of tried to keep things as subtle as possible. So that's what we're doing.
She's a lover, she's a dancer.
We're going to take this down here just to get the bigger part.
Every single day. My sister, my heart, my forever friend. Only fucking Anna. Dancing, so free, so free. She's my sister, she's my guiding star. Only fucking Anna. I'll tell you why. Dance to no river who paved the way, who lives in truth every single day. My sister, my heart, my forever friend. Party fucking and dancing, so free, so free. She's my sister, she's my guiding star. Party fucking Nana, I'll tell you why. It's to no river who paved the way, who lives in truth every single day. My sister, my heart, my forever dancing, so free, so free. She's my sister, she's my guiding star. Party fucking Nana, I'll tell you why. It's to no river who paved the way, who lives in truth every single day. My sister, my heart, my forever friend. Party fucking and dancing, so free, so free. She's my sister, she's my guiding star. Party fucking Nana, I'll tell you why. It's to no river who paved the way, who lives in truth every single day. My sister, my heart, my forever friend. Party fucking and dancing, so free, so free. She's my sister, she's my guiding star. Party fucking Nana.
All right, I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm not going to add anything to the individual vocals. Sometimes I like to mess around with it just to see, like, oh, what if I, add something on each vocal here, but I don't think it really needs it. The only thing I might do is add a second reverb. That's the only thing I might do to the lead vocals, but right now I'm leaving it as such. I want to get to these backing vocals now. Es muy importante para mí.
Dancing,
actually going to just to differentiate a little bit. I'm going to use this Pewig Child. That is completely out of character, but it was used a lot at Motown Records. And so I'm just trying to give a little bit different coloration to the backing vocals versus the lead vocals since it's all my voice. I wanted to differentiate just a little tiny bit. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, some guy, that's a good question. I'm just starting to learn about the FET or the FET technology. If you're asking about the LA2A, I think it's an opto compressor. Whatever that means, I'm still learning. I just know that when I've been looking for an alternative in Logic, that's the one that they recommend is the opto. I don't know if that helps. Let's make sure this is stereo. Yeah. It is. All right. started using. I'm just gonna do that.
So free, so free. She's my sister, she's my guiding star. Lord, if I can get her, Lord, I am mine. It's to my brother who paved the way, who lives in truth every single day. My sister, my heart, my forever friend. Lord, if I can.
All right, that vocal's a little loud for me right there. As you can see, I was really kind of belting my little face off right there. Bring her down. I don't know why I'm doing that there. This is clearly not the one I'm after. Okay. And right there, I want to take this and pan this to the right a little bit. All right, we're just, I'm gonna hop off, but I'll be back to do the guitars, a little mastering, and a little more whatever we gotta do with automation to make it all sound like it's sitting in there nice and beautifully. And then that's it. Let's save this. I've got to feed my animals. I got to feed my face. And all right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope that you will subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell and follow me on this journey. And I hope it inspires you to take the chance to do your stuff. Just go ahead and do it. I don't really think there's any wrong way to do it. And thank you for being here. All right, Lisa Marshall. Also, in the description below, I've got the mix chain for this song for Stax Records, typical mix chain for Stax Records. I will be sharing more of that information and maybe even putting a booklet together of some sort if people are interested in something like that. And I would love for you to follow me. I've got some a free song down in the comments below. And if you want to support the channel, I appreciate you. This is one of my hats from one of my songs called The Best Is Yet to Come, which is the free download. And that's all I got. All right, thanks, you guys. I'm off to see the wizard.